Please don't forget subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified of new daily videos.
I poured my heart and soul into Apex Digital Solutions. My co-founder, Mark Stevens, and I started it from scratch 8 years ago, working out of a cramped apartment, fueled by cheap coffee and grand ambitions. We built it into a thriving agency, specializing in cutting-edge digital campaigns for mid-sized tech companies. I handled client relations and strategy, the creative engine, while Mark managed the finances and operations. Or so I thought. The first whispers of doubt started subtly. A slight delay in vendor payments I hadn't authorized, a client whose contract was unexpectedly renegotiated at a lower rate without my input, a strange resistance from Mark when I asked for detailed financial reports. At first, I dismissed it as growing pains, the complexities of a scaling business. But then, my trusted senior account manager, Matthew York, approached me. Matthew had been with us for 5 years, loyal and sharp. He'd noticed Mark diverting company funds for personal use, fabricating expense reports, and even attempting to steer high-value clients towards phantom subsidiaries he controlled. Matthew had screenshots, email trails, and recorded conversations. My co-founder, my partner for 8 years, was systematically dismantling our company, asset by asset, and planning to leave me with nothing but the blame. He even spread rumors to staff and clients about my waning focus and erratic decisions. The betrayal cut deeper than any personal slight. It was an attempt to steal my entire livelihood, my professional identity. The shock quickly gave way to a cold, burning resolve. This wasn't just about money, it was about integrity and justice. Matthew, bless his heart, became my silent partner in a covert operation. Our plan was meticulous and multi-layered. First, we needed undeniable proof of every single fraudulent transaction, every misrepresented report, every whisper of his malicious intent. Matthew continued his work as usual, but now he was a ghost in the machine, archiving emails, tracking transfers, and making discreet audio recordings of Mark's increasingly aggressive and self-incriminating conversations. I, meanwhile, feigned ignorance, even playing along with Mark's narrative of my supposed distraction. I wanted him comfortable, overconfident, believing he was succeeding in his scheme. I also started building a war chest, moving my personal savings into secure accounts he couldn't touch, bracing for the inevitable legal battle. When Matthew had amassed an ironclad dossier, nearly 6 months' worth of evidence including doctored invoices, illicit fund transfers to shell companies, and explicit recordings of Mark boasting about how he was going to bleed Apex dry and leave Olivia in the dust, it was time. I secretly consulted with a high-powered corporate litigation attorney, one known for aggressively pursuing white-collar crime. On a Tuesday morning, I called a surprise all-staff meeting. Mark, smug and unprepared, walked into a room already filled with our employees and 2 stern-faced individuals, my lawyer, David, and a process server. I looked Mark directly in the eye, feeling a surge of adrenaline. "Mark," I said, my voice steady, "it seems we have some irregularities to discuss." My attorney then served him with an immediate injunction. All his access to company accounts, systems, and premises was revoked. He was also served with a notice of intent to sue for corporate fraud, embezzlement, and breach of fiduciary duty. His face went white. He tried to bluster, to accuse me of a hostile takeover, but David calmly interjected. "Mr. Stevens, we have extensive documentation. I suggest you listen to your attorney, who I'm sure will advise you that attempting to destroy evidence now would only compound your legal difficulties." The process server then escorted him out of the building, his briefcase clutched in his hand, leaving a stunned silence in his wake. The immediate aftermath was chaotic, but manageable. With Mark out, Matthew and I worked tirelessly to stabilize the company. We meticulously untangled his financial web, recovered significant funds, and reassured our clients, many of whom were already aware of his increasingly erratic behavior. The legal battle that followed was grueling, but every piece of evidence Matthew and I had painstakingly gathered was presented. Mark's own attorney, faced with irrefutable proof, couldn't mount a defense. The recordings of him openly discussing his fraud were particularly damning. The judge ruled decisively in my favor. Mark was stripped of all his shares in Apex Digital Solutions, ordered to pay substantial damages far exceeding what he'd siphoned, and a professional misconduct report was filed that effectively blacklisted him from the industry. His reputation was utterly destroyed. I heard through the grapevine that he tried to start a small consulting gig a few months later, but no one in our sector would touch him. He ended up taking a low-level, anonymous data entry job in a completely unrelated field, a mere shadow of the ambitious co-founder he once was. Apex Digital Solutions, now solely under my leadership, not only survived but thrived, stronger and more ethical than ever. He tried to steal my dream and ruin my life. Instead, I took back what was mine and watched his world crumble. Justice was served, and it tasted incredibly sweet.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button to like it. And please do subscribe to support the channel.